what is the indigenous model, economic model that Bharat had for thousands of years, and what is the indigenous thrust for Viksit Bharat as well? And the second question is, what's the role of cultural norms, narratives, and its impact on economic decision making, both at the individual level and at the corporate and the policy level as well? I think these two questions, form the basis of a lot of my research. My previous book, Dharmanomics for Modern Times, deals with this idea of Dharmic Capitalism. Basically, I define dharma through the prism of ethics, responsibilities, and harmony, engaging with the rest of the world. And these are mapped to concepts such as a rule-based yet non-intrusive state, wealth creation via global outlook, and then sustainable growth and welfare. So this broadly forms what I call Dharmic capitalism. And my view is that Kautilya, ancient thinker who's the author of the Arthashastra, had ideas related to this. So, and then in my previous book, I deal with a lot of the contemporary macro topics in India, like trade, inequality, labor contracts, and apply some of Kautilya's ideas. In this book, in Dharmanomics, which is a sequel to the previous one, I deal with the common era kingdoms, the Cholas, Pallavas, Pandyas, Kambojidesa and Cambodia, Vietnam, and Southeast Asian kingdoms, and argue that these dharma-based economic frameworks were there in various iterations during the early Common Era period. This includes Kautilya's Dharmic capitalism, which I just briefly mentioned earlier, and then the idea of the Dharmic ecosystem, which is basically the temple-based economies. The role of the temple is not just a religious institution, but also the economies of scale that the temple economic ecosystem provides, and the Dharmic way of life provides. And lastly, on Shrenis, the corporate guilds, which were integral to ancient Bharat's prosperity, which drove a lot of these kingdoms. So these three are, main pillars of what I would call Dharmanomics.